How many of you have been angry at a parent before? Everyone's hands are up. Okay. How many of you have been angry at a parent for a long time? Maybe for something that happened when you were a child. Okay, almost everyone. Same. Well, what if I told you that overcoming that story could be your key to unlocking unconditional love? Sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? Well, hi everyone, I'm Leticia, and this is the story of how meditating on love led me to accidentally forgiving my mom. Okay, I want to make one thing clear before I get into this. I thought meditating on love was absolutely bullshit every time I tried. I was already bought in on the whole meditation thing. Logically, it made sense to me that if I wanted to have more love in my life, I needed to put my mind and put my focus on love. What you think is what you become. But every time I tried, it felt so terrible and it felt uncomfortable. It felt like I didn't know what love actually was. And I didn't like it. But to give you a little context on me, my history with love has been a little chaotic. Anytime my friends would talk about their shitty ex-boyfriends, I realized I am the shitty ex-boyfriend. The one that ghosted you after you told me you liked me, or the one that wouldn't commit to you, even though we've been texting nonstop for the last couple of months. That was me. But I decided to try anyways, despite my feelings on love. Honestly, because I was desperate enough to feel something else. And so, after a few months of meditating, I had a moment. I had a moment in meditation when I was trying to generate the feeling of unconditional love, and I was asking myself, what is this supposed to look like? And I was grasping onto all different types of love, and I realized I never considered to think about my mom. But I mean, I've been angry at her ever since I was 5 years old and she left and my parents divorced. So there was no way there was any love there. Over the years, I've avoided her, not answering her phone calls, not answering her texts. I wouldn't tell her that I loved her. And I blamed her for everything. I blamed her for my parents' divorce. I blamed her for any time I felt like an outcast at school for having Brazilian parents. I even blamed her for when I broke my leg. I don't know how I got away with that. She wasn't even there. But it was definitely her fault. And so after I had, then I realized, wait a second. She's been showing up for me this entire time. She would cook me my favorite meal anytime I asked her to make it, which, by the way, took hours. She still folded my laundry, and she even combed my hair when my leg was broken because apparently my arms were broken too. It's true. That happened. It's true. That happened. And so I realized, holy shit, that's unconditional love. That's love with no condition. Someone who still showed up for me even when I seemingly didn't love them back. And so after I had that insight, it felt like the script had completely flipped. I saw a whole different story with my mom. And the story was that my anger was outdated. I'd been holding on to resentment for the last 20 years that didn't apply to the person that she is today. People change every single day. It was only ever a story that I created that didn't want to admit love could possibly exist between me and the person who I felt hurt me the most. Or actually, that I could be loved by someone who I hurt the most. And it took me time to come to terms with this. My behavior didn't change immediately. I had to practice loving her in meditation to then finally gain enough courage to be vulnerable with her about what felt like the biggest secret of my life, which was the fact that I was suffering. I was suffering because I kept telling myself there's something wrong with the people out there who love me. because I'm not worthy of love. And then that became my reality. Suddenly, I'm in relationships where I'm not enough for the other person, or they're not enough for me. And so we finally had a conversation about this, something that I never planned on doing in my entire life. And when we did, it felt like I was purging 20 years of anger. My body was shaking. I was crying without even realizing it. And I forgave her because I love you. But the truth is, the forgiveness was never for her. It was for me. It was a choice that I made. It was a choice that I made to see things differently, despite the narrative that I've been telling myself all these years. It was a choice to say, I am worthy of love, and this story does not serve me anymore. It was a choice to do the hard thing and to finally relieve myself and give myself the chance to live the opposite life. But meditation didn't fix my entire relationship with my mom or with unconditional love. I still have tension. Sorry, Mom. It's true. But every day, I am continuing to choose love because I know that that choice is creating my reality. So, just a note of caution, everyone, if you start meditating because you want to feel more love in your life, you might end up accidentally forgiving your mom.